So what exactly is Nonfiction November, and how can you get involved? Nonfiction November was started by Olive on her channel A Book Olive about 5 years ago. I'll leave a link in the description below to her video from a few weeks ago where she talks about all of the things involved in what prompted her to start it and that type of thing. But in a nutshell, it is an incentive for those of us who read every month and watch booktube channels to read some nonfiction along with the fiction that we read every month. Now, as part of the challenge, she's chosen 4 categories for this year. You can choose your book from these. You can choose any nonfiction book, really. The 4 categories are design, sport, true, and voice. Again, the goal is so we will read more nonfiction, not necessarily fit within a rigid set of parameters. What I wanted to do on this video is just talk about the 4 books I intend to read this month from the 4 categories. The book I've chosen for the design category is The Elegant Universe by Greene. The subtitle is Superstrings, Hidden Dimensions, and the Quest for the Ultimate Theory. Now, Albert Einstein, when he was alive, is best known for his discovery of the general theory of relativity and the special theory of relativity. And those deal with the large aspects of the universe, gravity, space, time, how they interact. Along with the theories of relativity is quantum mechanics, and quantum mechanics deals with the very, very, very small aspects of the universe. What Einstein wanted to do is discover a theory that would unify the two, and he never discovered that during his lifetime. Greene in this book writes about superstrings and how it's possible that that could be a unifying theory to bring together quantum mechanics and the general theory and special theories of relativity. Something I'm very interested in, and so I'm looking forward to reading this book. The sport category is where I have pushed it just a little bit. I chose the book Hiding the Elephant: How Magicians Invented the Impossible and Learned to Disappear by Jim Steinmeyer. I chose this because magicians basically make sport of our grasp on reality as they fool us in their shows. We've all seen a good magic show where a magician will do a grand illusion and make something disappear or levitate or something like that. But throughout history, someone had to do these tricks first. This book goes through the history of some of the great illusionists and those first tricks that they did. The book I've chosen for true is Permanent Record by Edward Snowden. Now, Edward Snowden at various times in his life worked both as an employee and a contractor for the CIA and the NSA. He was given an insane level of access to not only the data that had been collected, but methods that were used to collect the data. Over time, he became concerned with how things were done, who was being caught up in the various collection methods, and were innocent people being surveilled. His question was, how do you blow the whistle on organizations that are by their very nature secretive? So in 2013, he decided to take a treasure trove of data to journalists so they could report the information to the world. Now, whatever you think of the rightness or wrongness of his actions in taking the information to journalists to be printed, it can't be denied that there are government agencies at all times surveilling people all over the planet. So I'm curious to read this book to see not only what were some of the things he actually came across, but what were his motivations. I'd like to know a little more about what his motivations were in making the decision to go to journalists. For the voice category, I've chosen The Age of Surveillance Capitalism by Shoshona Zuboff. I hope I didn't butcher her name too badly there. Unless you've been living under a rock, we're all aware that companies like Google and Facebook have been dragged before the United States Congress to testify how the data of people who use their services is being utilized. Questions like what data is collected and how is it stored? How long is it stored? What's not as well known are some of the ways that the data is actually being used. During the fallout of Cambridge Analytica and the 2016 election, we learned that that data is actually used for behavior modification. Based on a set of psychological profiles, your data is matched up to one of these profiles, and then stories that match one of these profiles that you might be interested in are presented to you. Why can't we have the raw data? Why does it need to be filtered through a company that decides what we should and should not see? I'm interested to read this book and see what she says about what are some of the solutions for this, because let's face it, data is big business and big money for these corporations. So will you be participating in Nonfiction November? If so, what books will you be reading? Let me know down in the comments below. I'd be interested to see what other people are reading. For those of you who are interested, there is an online group through the Caravan app that is participating in the Nonfiction November. We're not all reading the same books. There's a plethora of books that are being read by different ones, and we're all discussing the books we're reading. If you're interested, I've left a link down below in the description so you can find out more about it. I'll be doing more in-depth videos this month on each of these books, so if you're interested, hit the subscribe button below so you won't miss any of them. I look forward to reading these books and letting you know what I find out from the various ones. We'll see you later.